Oh man, welcome to 2020 everybody. I hope you're all having a great year so far. If I sound a little bit hoarse, that's just because I'm kind of getting over like a throat sickness. I lost my voice. But I think I'm all good to start recording again, so that's why this took so long. Also because I'm just lazy. I also was at Disneyland, which was awesome. I'm gonna post a video about that hopefully soon. But anyways, if you're new here, this is part 2 in my rewriting the DCEU series. This isn't going to be like my other rewrites where I take things from the original movie, because this is technically a sequel to the first video where I rewrote like a Superman reboot. And I pretty much have to take this movie all the way back to the conceptual phase and redo it in a way that I would have liked to see it and works in the universe that I'm building with my first Superman film. All that is staying from the original film is the fact that Batman and Superman are both in it. And for all you hardcore DCEU fans out there, this series is in no way me saying that I think the DCEU films are bad, because that's up to you guys. These are just videos, are just a response to my viewers asking me what my take on the DCEU would have looked like. So without further ado, let's rewrite. Oh shit. Sorry, this actually is not called Batman vs. Superman, because this isn't a Batman vs. Superman film. This is more akin to a team-up movie. So, I want to call the film Batman Superman World's Finest. We open the film on a press conference with the newest mayor of Metropolis, Lex Luthor. We get some exposition of Lex and Clark's history through Clark and Lois, who are running the story for the Daily Planet. Superman and Lex are pretty much, enemies by this point and have butt heads a few times in the past. Clark has a feeling this whole mayor thing is a cover-up for something bad. So when the press conference is over, Clark suits up and does some looking around Lex's office while he's out, basically finding out on his computer that Lex is transporting a giant crate of something to Gotham in a few days, and he doesn't like the sound of it at all. Cutting over to Gotham City, we see Gotham's mayor, Michael Atkins, up on a stage with Bruce Wayne himself. During this, they're talking about a city reform project. Many buildings around Gotham City are getting older and older as the years go by, and he says that with the help of Bruce Wayne, they will bring this city back to its former glory, rebuilding a lot of the old buildings. The press conference ends when Bruce and Michael head to Wayne Tower to unwind after the reveal to the city. Michael tries to convince Bruce to vote for him, but before he can finish his pitch, a hooded figure comes in from the ceiling and drops down, saying that Bruce Wayne has been sentenced to death. We don't see his face, but he manages to stab Michael in the leg and then attempts to murder Bruce. Bruce tries to hold back a bit to cover his identity, but no dice. Whoever is fighting him is incredibly skilled, and maybe even more skilled than him at his finest. The assassin picks up Bruce and brings him to the nearest window, telling him, what a pleasure to get to kill another Wayne, and shoves him out the window with no hesitation, going down with him. Bruce manages to grab onto a flagpole soon enough that he doesn't hurt himself too bad, and the assassin falls and hits the ground full force. Bruce watches in shock as the assassin gets back up and hijacks a nearby taxi. How the hell did he survive that fall? Cut over to Clark's apartment, and it's here that we see Clark and Lois have been living together since the end of Man of Steel. Clark flies and follows the package to its location. He hovers aboard the abandoned warehouse to see with his X-ray vision that Lex's men are bringing the package into a back room with hundreds of hooded people waiting for it. When the package is brought in, the group circles around it. When Lex's men leave, Clark flies in full force into the building, crashing in through the ceiling and landing in the middle of all these people. Their heads are down. Clark begins demanding answers, but gets none. Clark tells everyone in the room to leave now, and someone in the group says, "The only thing leaving here tonight is your corpse." Every single hooded figure looks up to see that everyone is wearing a white owl mask. Clark is confused and unsure of what all this means. The white masked owls step backwards as a handful of men in black and gold owl masks, the Talons, step forward. Talons are assassins for the court, led by Talon, their leader, the kind of people who would try to assassinate Bruce Wayne. They surround Superman, who's telling them that if they think they can take him on, they're dead wrong. Crash! The door into the room is blown off with smoke filling the room. Superman turns to see him, the Batman. Without even questioning, Batman flies into action, beginning to brutally fight the Talons. He's outmatched but holding his own. Superman begins fighting as well, easily taking out some of the members. He holds one up with a snarky comment saying that there's no way they could have prepared for him, but the Talon he's holding says that yes, they actually did. Suddenly, the crate that was being transported here explodes, and none other than Amazo steps out, surveying the area, looking at Superman and walking towards him. The leader of the Talons says they weren't planning on using this now, but they're glad they have it to be prepared. They fight, and Amazo whoops Superman's ass. While this is happening, Batman's taking down more Talons. They manage to take down Amazo by having one of them distract it while the other one, inflicts some damage. When the court manages to make an escape, Batman and Superman begin to exit. Superman talks to him like they're gonna keep working together, but Batman shuts it down immediately.
I work alone.
Superman keeps pressing Bats, saying the only way they're gonna figure out what's happening with the Owls and stop them is together. Bats keeps shutting it down, annoying Superman. The Batmobile pulls up with a young Jason Todd, Robin, in it. He pokes his head out of the Batmobile, cheesily introducing himself to Superman. He's obviously a fan.
Wait, is that Superman? The Superman? You know who Superman is, right?
I know who he is.
Bruce makes a quick comment to Jason asking how his research for the currently missing Poison Ivy is going, and Jason mentions that she is nowhere to be found. Before they say their goodbyes, Superman uses X-ray vision to see who's under the mask. Bruce Wayne. Alright then, have it your way, Bruce. Robin's jaw drops as he looks to Batman for a reaction. Bruce shows no emotion as he hops in and drives off. Later in the Batcave, Bruce and Jason do some digging to find out who sold Amazo to the court, only to discover that the seller is none other than Lex Luthor. We knew that already. Jason tells Bruce that it would make sense. Him and Superman have faced off more than once, showing off his Superman knowledge. Bruce reluctantly decides that they may need Superman's help. Before the scene ends, he gives Robin a sample of one of the Talon's blood for study. The next day, Bruce shows up at Clark's apartment.
Well, if it isn't Superman.
Clark is shocked. After a bit of back and forth, Bruce informs Clark of everything he discovered last night in the Batcave. They decide to do a team-up and head over to Lex's personal home lab to do some recon. After searching for a bit in the lab, Clark discovers none other than the missing Poison Ivy in the wall with his X-ray vision. They press a panel on the wall, revealing her, and they try to break her out, but she's focused on something behind them. They turn around to see Lex Luthor standing with Talon. When Superman asks Lex what he's doing with the court, he says that he merely supplied the court with a little kryptonite poison dust mix thanks to the help of Miss Ivy. Before the two can even question what was just revealed, the gas flows into the room from the floor beneath them. Batman quickly puts on a small gas mask from his belt, and the court leader and Lex exit the room. Superman speedily runs over to them, but he stops dead in his tracks a few inches from the door. He quickly is affected by the kryptonite poison gas mixture and turns on Batman. Batman, being just hit out a window, runs over to Robin in the Batmobile across the street, and his chair reclines and brings him to a compartment in the back of the car. Superman heads out to the Batmobile and begins walking towards it. Robin begins shooting at him, apologizing with every bullet shot, but it obviously doesn't affect him. As Superman is about to crush the car, a compartment opens up in the back where Batman exits with a giant Superman-proof suit. The fight is pretty much the same as the one in the Batman vs. Superman movie, but with Robin piloting the Batmobile, providing help with weapons on that. Bruce barely manages to hold off Superman until the toxins are out of his system. Bruce, Jason, and Clark head back to the Batcave to decide what their next move should be. Clark demands for Bruce to give him the kryptonite, but Bruce pretty much just ignores him. They figure out that the court's big plan is to exterminate Batman and Superman as they are a threat to their means for citywide control of Gotham, and Lex's citywide control of Metropolis. It's here where the blood sample from earlier from one of the Talons becomes ready. It is revealed here that the Talons are actually genetic experiments on the civilians of the poverty line of Gotham and Metropolis. They're trying to make hundreds of Supermen to do their bidding with the aid of the toxins from Poison Ivy. They also figure out though that Talon, the leader, isn't someone on the poverty line. He is obviously the man behind all of this. Batman and Superman decide to manipulate the court into taking the fight to them. Bruce shows how this will happen by streaming a video he recorded during their confrontation with Lex and the leader of the Owls to Gotham and Metropolis news stations, revealing their plans to both cities. Clark tells Bruce that Lex and the Owls will be able to track where the video came from, and Bruce turns to him saying,
I know.
Bats, Robin, and Supes gear up for the fight of their lives, laying traps with trophies and gadgets around the Batcave. Eventually, the Talons arrive with Lex Luthor in a kryptonite-powered mech suit. Batman and Robin begin fighting the Talons as they swarm in, some getting picked off by traps, while Superman zooms over to Lex to face off with him. I don't have a super specific and in-depth idea for how the fight will go. There are specific things I really want to happen, like Batman will try using kryptonite on the Talons, only to find out that even though they were designed to be little supermen, they don't share the same weaknesses as him due to them not actually being aliens. Clark won't be doing so hot against Lex as his suit is radiating kryptonite energy. Lex holds Superman up by the throat. How's it feel? How's it feel being beaten by me, a human? I finally have what I want. I am superior. I am a god now. And you are nothing but a weak alien who will soon be dying at my feet. A battering flies in and hits Lex in the back of the suit, short-circuiting it for a short moment. He drops Clark to see Jason standing a few feet away.
Back off, Baldy.
During all of this fighting, we will see intercuts of Gotham and Metropolis rioting against the Owls and Lex in the streets, their hold over the general public finally ending. Meanwhile, Bruce faces off with the head of Talon.
What you said earlier about killing another Wayne. The court had them killed, didn't they? You killed my family.
Talon tells Bruce that his family brought nothing but pain to Gotham, with the court needing to take action where no one else could, and removing them from the city, just like how they're gonna remove Bruce. Bruce tells him that no, they won't. Because while they've been down here fighting, they've missed the real fight, as he points to the Batcomputer screen, now showing the riots in the streets. He tells Talon that they lost, and he becomes incredibly frustrated, making him sloppy and letting Batman beat him. But as Batman beats him, Talon tries to get away, and he falls from a high point to the Batcave, dying. Robin and a weak Clark take on Lex together. Robin dismantles the suit piece by piece slowly during the fight, eventually removing the kryptonite from the core, leaving Clark open for a good old right hook finisher. As the Talons see their leader fall, they all try to escape. Bruce manages to stop and tie down a few, but the rest get out of the cave in a rush. After the big fight, the heroes meet up with each other once again. Lex and the caught Talons are cuffed and sent to Arkham Asylum. Robin hands Bats the captured kryptonite for him to put in the container with the rest. Bruce takes a good look at the kryptonite and offers it to Clark as a sign of understanding between the two. Clark pushes it back to Bruce though, saying that he once thought Bruce was a man of little trust, but after everything, he trusts him, letting Bruce keep the kryptonite. As for the film's ending, I'd like to see just like a couple things happen. I'd like to see Lex and the Talons getting put into Arkham next to a few other notable DC villains that people will know as the members of the first incarnation of the Injustice League. The rest is kind of simple to assume from here. Bruce and Clark go back to their separate lives, showing how different they both are, and that even though they may be polar opposites, they can still fight together and be world's finest. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching the video. Man, my throat is dying, so I'm gonna go take a break. But, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm so excited for this new year. It's gonna be amazing. I have some awesome videos for you guys. Also, I'm going to be hosting a little get-together chat on my Discord, so go join the Discord, and I'm going to be able to talk to you guys using my actual voice, and we can all sit down and just talk about some fun, cool stuff. I'm going to reveal some really fun stuff to you guys. I don't know the exact date for that yet, but it will be announced in the Discord, so go head over there, and as always, everybody, stay nerdy.